Joining us now, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell. Ms. Criswell, thanks so much for joining us today. What more can you tell us about the preparations being made at both the federal and state level around the southwest coast as this storm just keeps getting bigger?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks so much for giving me an opportunity to talk to you today. We have been preparing for this storm since Friday when I talked to the governor and heard what his concerns are. And as we've continued to watch this storm get more defined, and now that we see it moving a little bit south, we are confident that we have moved the right personnel and the right resources in place to make sure that we can respond immediately, especially for those life-saving efforts. You know, I just heard and we listened to the threat from the storm surge, and it is going to be life-threatening. And so anybody that hasn't evacuated, they really need to stay in place and try to get to high ground if the waters start to rise. And we are prepared to go in immediately to support the state's efforts in that immediate search and rescue to find anybody that may be impacted or stranded because of the storm.
Minister Criswell, do you have an estimate as to how many people did stay behind? I know there's been urgent notices in recent days for people to evacuate. Not everyone heeds that call. Is there a sense as to how many people who are still there and may have to be saved when it's safe to do so?
I don't have an estimate on total numbers. I know that when I joined the president and talked to the mayors of Hillsborough or of Tampa and St. Pete and Clearwater yesterday, they were confident that people were taking their advice and they were evacuating. And so we know that many people have evacuated, which is great news. But we know that there's always people that think that they can ride the storm out. And so they are going to be our concern as the storm passes and we get in there to see how many people are stranded.
Ms. Criswell, given the population of Lee County in and around Fort Myers, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people probably on the move. So that's one issue, one problem that's going to have to be dealt with, just the traffic, getting people out of there. But the other problem, it's not a problem actually, what exactly does FEMA have on the ground now in and around Lee County up through Port Charlotte?
So the resources that we have are staged strategically throughout the state. So we know that there's going to be impacts around the state, right? We're talking about where the hurricane is going to make landfall and where the eye of that storm is going to be. But we know that there's going to be rain across the state, significant amounts of rain. And we know that there's going to be tornado warnings. We've had several tornado warnings yesterday. And so we have resources down in Miami for search and rescue. We have resources up in the Orlando area. We have resources just outside the state lines. So we can then come in quickly as soon as the storm passes to those areas that are going to have the greatest impact.
And tell us, if you can, what did Governor DeSantis say he needed most when you all had your conversation?
Yeah, I think the thing that we talked about back on Friday that he was the most concerned about is we have an elderly population in many of these communities, right? And we have a lot of individuals that are dependent, medically dependent on electricity. And so power, we know there's going to be power outages. That's going to be one of our big concerns of making sure that we can support those people that need that. And we are getting into those facilities that may not have evacuated and see what their needs are.
And I'm noticing that some hospitals right in where the storm is headed are still open and operating. Are they shored up so we don't have another situation like we saw in Katrina?
I know that there's been several hospitals that did evacuate, several nursing homes and assisted living facilities that did evacuate. But Florida's also put in some significant codes and standards that require greater resilience, bringing their generators up to a higher level, reinforcing the facilities. And so there are a lot of improvements that have been made over the last several decades to make sure that they are stronger and more able to withstand the impacts of these types of storms. But they are our priority. We know where all of these facilities are, and that is where we're going to focus our efforts to make sure we're getting in there to see what their impacts are and what we need to do to help the people that remain behind if needed.
All right, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, thank you very much for being on this morning. We'll be watching this